Hi, everybody. I'm First Warren 5 Meteorologist Warren Sears. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all the moms and motherly figures out there. I got to see my mom around lunch for a little while before I came into work. Hope you had a great day. Honestly, super nice. Got a little warm this afternoon. Had a lot of outdoor events in KC this weekend, especially today. Definitely that sun is getting a lot stronger this time of the year. You can really tell. And, today we were about 9 degrees above normal for this time of the year, and this is just the beginning of a pretty toasty week ahead. We've got a couple of days that are going to feel like the heart of summer. With the air being dry today, it was much more pleasant. I really expect that humidity to start to ramp up, especially into the middle of this week. So something we haven't talked about in a while, heat index, that is going to be a factor here. Nothing extreme, but again, it is definitely going to feel much warmer than it should for this time of the year. So let's get through your forecast here, talk through it over the next few minutes. We've got warm temperatures. I'm expecting every day, at least of the work and school week, to be in the 80s. A few days with the higher humidity, your feels like temperatures could be in the low 90s. Storm chances are minimal this week. There are a couple of little setups that I'm watching out for, but nothing at this point is looking overly significant, but I do want to at least focus on those, and we'll keep a close watch over the next few days. Let's first start with the temperatures. You'll be at 82 on Monday, 85 on Tuesday, and then Wednesday is the hottest day of the forecast at 89. Some of our computer guidance is spitting out 90 degrees or slightly warmer. I'm going to hold at 89 just because, again, our air does get a little bit more saturated. There's more moisture from the Gulf that streams in, and so sometimes when we get more humid, it's harder to heat that air when it's more humid than it would be if it was drier air. So if the air mass was going to be a little drier, I would maybe bump us to at least 90, but at this point we're going to hold at 89. Doesn't really matter. It's all going to feel the same, again, with your feels like temperatures over that. But with your forecast of 89, that will be the warmest day since October 12th. That was when we hit 90 degrees last. That was abnormally warm for October, but again, just to show you, it has been quite some time since we've been this warm. We've only had a couple of 80-degree days. I think today was number 3 for the year so far. Still holding on to 74 out there. It's warm, but this evening was beautiful, especially as the sun was setting and after sunset. We've got a couple of 60s sprinkled in, but everyone for the most part should have a pretty mild night. We'll drop to about 55 as you're waking up in the morning on Monday, starting your new week. I'm expecting cool conditions, but you'll be comfortable, I think, without having to wear much of a long sleeve or a light jacket, because temperatures climb quickly. We'll notice even in the first few hours after sunrise, those temperatures will be skyrocketing through the 60s and 70s, and then eventually making it to the lower 80s in the afternoon. There's a 20% chance, 20% confident that a little pop-up is possible, especially into central Missouri in the afternoon on Monday. Most of us should stay dry. There will be an east breeze about 5 miles per hour. So let's walk through here. There could be a little bit of extra cloud coverage at times, especially in the higher levels on your Monday. But you see a couple of green specks there into central Missouri. That would literally be about it. So maybe a random downpour picking up on radar, but the coverage is so spotty, very isolated, and again, probably mostly out of our KCTV coverage area. Just something to note, though. If you have a random little pop-up in the afternoon, don't be alarmed, but I think we'll be mainly dry. 85 out there on your Tuesday, climbing those temperatures up into the mid to upper 80s for Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, heat index, almost said wind chill. Heat index is going to be probably 91, 92, 93 in that range for Wednesday afternoon. The sun is real strong this time of the year, but with the humidity that we have in place, some cumulus clouds kind of floating around in the afternoon every day will be likely. Thursday, we have our next front that's starting to come in, and I have adjusted my thoughts on Thursday a little bit. Originally, with the front coming in more in the afternoon, I thought there was a chance for a couple of showers and thunderstorms to form on that front, the little front dry line that comes in. Our latest computer models want to bring it in a little bit earlier in the day, which would mean probably killing any sort of chance for showers or thunderstorms Thursday. So I'm going down just to 20%, but that is our next front that comes in. So you can see on our dew point tracker here, basically just the judgment of how much moisture is in the air. The Gulf return of moisture is here. You'll notice it tomorrow, but it won't be very high until Tuesday and Wednesday. That will be when it's starting to feel much more damp outside, heavier air in place. So Wednesday afternoon, with the upper 80s to near 90 degrees and that moisture, it's going to feel hot. But you see the drier air starts to push in from the west into the morning on Thursday. This is the couple of hour shift earlier that I was just telling you about. So probably going to start to see the humidity drop throughout the day Thursday as this front comes in. That would likely focus any sort of thunderstorm chances more to our east, southeast, into southern Missouri, southeast Missouri, eastern Missouri, Arkansas. So the matter of a couple of hours makes a big difference in a setup like this. So at this point, again, my confidence is falling to have any sort of thunderstorms on Thursday. If this slows back down or whatever, there's still that chance that those storm chances could return. But at this point, those are my latest thoughts and some of the shifts that we've seen. So Monday and Tuesday, mainly dry. Again, a random bubble up possible in the afternoon, but that's about it. Wednesday also looks to be dry, but you can see here Wednesday night into Thursday morning as that boundary starts to come in. Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, they could have a little bit more of the activity, but just not much popping up for us. We actually need the rain. We're at a little bit of a deficit right now, but really not too excited about any of these rain chances at this moment. Then on Friday, there might be something that clips us into the afternoon, but that's a new adjustment on our computer guidance. So that's something that, again, we'll watch out for. It is just Sunday, so every model run that's coming in has been a little bit different. Nothing really consistent at this point. So your rainfall check so far this month at the airport is only 0.58 inches, so just over a half inch of rain, and this is our wettest month of the year. We usually average about 5.3 inches total of rain throughout May. So we already are at a pretty big deficit. Now, we get a big system to come through or some, strong thunderstorms in the middle of the month, dump a couple inches of rain, we'll be right back on track. But at this point, it is a little bit dry with a deficit of 1.31 inches of rain and not expecting a whole lot here over the next week as far as any sort of precipitation goes, at least through this work week. And you can see here our rainfall potential, again, more so into eastern Missouri where they have a better shot for some showers and thunderstorms. So it's a kind of a quiet, almost feels like heart of summer forecast. And you've got many days in the 80s this week. You've got 89 as your warmest point on Wednesday. Some of your mornings with the humidity in place will not cool very much. Mid 60s to start Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then even Friday morning at 60. So definitely not as much relief as we've seen this past weekend in the mornings. Then that front comes in Friday, and we are expecting to drop into Thursday afternoon and evening and into Friday. We'll drop at least from the upper 80s back to the lower 80s Friday, Saturday. And then I am seeing a sign of maybe a more, at least a little bit of a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms into Sunday. It's, again, on the newer side of our computer guidance. So I only have 20% on there, but I just wanted to indicate that I'm starting to see something. And you've got 70s at least back in the forecast. I think next week, Sunday and beyond, again, not this coming week, but the next week, we'll be back into more of a May feel with highs in the 70s. So, yes, this is a kind of a heart of the summer feel for a few days, but overall, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday all look pretty solid. So we just got a couple of those hotter days mixed in. Definitely will need to use the AC out there for this upcoming week. All right, everyone, that is your late Sunday evening. Forgot what day it was. Sunday evening weather update. We've got a show here in about an hour, and we will see you then on KCTV5. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a great week ahead.